Well, we try again. There we go. There we go. We'll try it again and see what happens this time around, eh? I really don't know what happened. I really don't know. So, what if we just try it again? Take two. That's what I said. Take two. And there's really no explanation on my end. Yep. Take two. Where'd you go, John? Take two. There we good. Audio's good. Video's good. I don't know what happened, my friends, but it is what it is. We're dealing with consumer technology. There, we're all good now. Hey, Brent, how are you guys doing? Thinking about you. Jason, I'm back. Larry, I'm back. Ted, I'm back. Same to you, Jason. Yep, I'm back. Now, that's not to say it won't freeze up again because I don't know what happened. Yeah, it might be time for, it's when I'm done, it's certainly time for a Maker's Mark. That's my go-to. Yeah, it's working everywhere now. Hey, Louie, how are you? Hey, Ross, I got a question for you. Are you willing to play the role of Nick Grillo tonight? And you know what that means? It means you can't win a Michigan brand ham. Are you willing to play the role of Nick Grillo? Hunting was good. Haven't shot anything yet. Well, you are more than welcome there, Jeff. Yeah, everything's working good now. Everything's all good. So my timing was good. Ross said he will. Wonderful. Because you know that right now, till the first of the year, we give away Michigan brand hams here on Wednesday Night Live. Right on through the first of the year. By the way, happy Thanksgiving to you. Hope you have a wonderful day tomorrow. George is with us. Randy's with us. Dave is with us. Craig took the break to make a drink. Good for you, buddy. Good for you. All right, so we are going to give away a Michigan brand ham tonight. Nick Grillo can't join us because he's at the Wings game. That's a pretty good way to spend a Thanksgiving Eve, isn't it? Pretty good. Grass Cutters, how are you? Hello, Jim. Nice to have you along with us, buddy. Appreciate that, Ross. Right back at you. So a few things I want to talk about tonight. Number one, the weather roller coaster. Remember what it was like last week at this time? It was nasty and it was cold. In fact, it was cold and nasty right on through the weekend. We went to Chicago this weekend. That's why I didn't hunt this weekend at all. Went to Chicago wedding dress shopping with my daughter Shelby. Now, I was not involved in the shopping itself, but I was part of the trip and we had a great time. But I'll tell you what, we drove from Midland down to St. Joe Friday night and it was absolutely brutal. And then in Chicago on Saturday and Sunday, it was cold, cold, cold and windy. Thank you, Dave. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. John's dad's baking a pumpkin pie right now. My wife Denise made 2 apple pies. Uncle Johnny, how are you, buddy? We'll see you tomorrow. See you tomorrow here for Thanksgiving. So the weather's been up and down, up and down, up and down. So I think I've only hunted 3 days so far. That's going to change here real quick. I'm going to get right back out there again now. Probably hunt Friday. In fact, I will not be hunting Saturday because that's the game of the Michigan-Ohio State, day of the Michigan-Ohio State game. Predictions? Michigan, Ohio State, what's the score? Predictions. I know what I want. I know what I want to happen, but I'm not sure that's going to happen. So I have not seen a deer that I want to shoot yet, meaning I haven't seen an adult deer, come to think of it. I have not seen an adult deer. I think, well, I'm not going to say that. Michigan 26-24 in the rain. I'll take that. Dave says, your dad's a great guy. He's unavailable October 1st to January 1st. Brent says 24-17 Ohio. Bert says Michigan all the way. Mike, Michigan all the way. I hope so, guys. I hope so. I have a question for you too. This is completely off the wall and it is not outdoor related at all. Why in the world have we not heard from the Big Ten on sanctions against those Michigan State players or the team? Why? At this point, they've let it go. Hey, Matthew, how are you? Ross's son, Ryan, took a big doe tonight. Got her put away there. Kid came on here. Excellent. I look forward to a picture. Blue has their work cut out for them. They do. They do. Larry says Michigan 31, Ohio 24. I'll take that one. Pat, our friend from Ontario, one of our friends, says controlled deer hunt in Ontario December 5th and 9th. The rut is still on. Mark's tagged out tonight. Excellent, Mark. Excellent. I haven't seen the pictures yet. I'll tell you what happened, Mark. I had everybody's phone number in my group text, and I knew who everybody. Oh, they did? They pressed charges earlier today against 7 MSU players. I did not know that, John. Thank you. Jeff is telling me the same thing. They just released a statement, but charges have been made. Okay, so were these charges against the was this the local prosecutor or was this the Big Ten? I didn't know that, everybody. Thanks for letting me know. I'll look it up as soon as we're done. Hey, Ken, good evening. How are you, buddy? Okay, they made charge. They brought charges against those MSU players today. Wonderful. Dave says Gladwin 14-10 over Frankenmuth. Let's talk about deer hunting here for a minute. I haven't shot a deer yet because I haven't seen an adult deer in front of me yet. And at first I was really worried. I thought I'm going to have to get the dart and crossbow out because the firearm deer season is ending here very soon. And then I started doing some investigating. They should do more than strip scholarships, in my opinion. And I think they should. Punish the entire team somehow. Yeah, you sound like my father-in-law. He said, "Oh, they were provoked. Provoking does not. No excuse for that." Jason said, "Need to look at the tunnel. It's not just MSU that had issues." Yeah. Anyway, when I did some investigating, I found out that I can actually use my Brenton 350 Legend right on through the muzzleloader season. So what they've effectively done is created a 6-7 week firearm season in my part of the state where I live. And then you go beyond that. The late doe season is also open to firearms, center fire rifles in my part of the state. So I've got I'd have to look at the dates, but a good 6 weeks of firearm hunting. A good 6 weeks of firearm deer season for me. So I'm not picking the dart and crossbow back up. I'm gonna keep hunting with that Brenton 350 Legend until I see a big doe walk in front of me. Interesting. So I got thinking. I got asking around. Why are the seasons so liberal? And the answer from the DNR is because they want us to kill more deer. Okay, I'm good with that. I want to kill more deer. They want to kill more deer. And so they've expanded the hunting seasons. I say if you want to kill more deer, why not allow hunters in the Lower Peninsula to start using bait again too? And I bring this up because at this point in the season, if you're not baiting on your property, because that's the legal thing to do, if you're not baiting, you're not seeing deer. If your neighbors are baiting, I don't care how good your habitat is. How people say, "Oh, habitat, food plots, whatever." We've got food plots on our lease property. But if there is baiting going on around you, you're not going to see deer. So if you want us to kill more deer, bring back baiting. Now, the reason they got rid of baiting was because they said there was a threat of chronic wasting disease being spread by baiting. I'm just reading some of your comments here. I don't want to do anything that would jeopardize or hurt the Michigan deer herd at all. But how can baiting threaten increase the spread of CWD when food plots and apple trees don't? I don't get it. And it's pretty clear to me that there aren't enough game wardens in the field. Hey, Pastor, how are you? Or hey, Joe, how are you? There you are. It's pretty clear to me there aren't enough game wardens in the field to enforce the baiting ban anyway. So, and I talked about this morning, and I'll say it one more time, and I'll drop it and move on. Why have a law on the books that obviously can't be enforced? And why have a law on the why talk out of both sides of your mouth? If you want hunters to kill more deer and liberalize the seasons, why do you take away one of the most effective tools for killing those deer? Bait. Especially since we're now being told by the DNR, I was told by Chad Stewart of the DNR, that maybe CWD isn't the sky is falling situation they thought it was a couple of years ago. It's still a concern, they say, and I don't doubt that at all, but maybe they overreacted a little bit. So I don't know. That's kind of what I've been thinking about lately. I think, but listen, if they're going to let me hunt with my Brenton 350 Legend, and I didn't map it out yet. I think it's something like 6 weeks. I'm going to do it. I'm going to keep hunting with that center fire rifle right on through every day that they'll let me do it until I shoot a big doe. And if a buck walks in front of me, a nice buck walks in front of me, I shoot him too. But I know that's not going to happen. Not at this point in the season, not where I hunt. So I'm waiting for a big doe. And we'll see what happens there. Yeah, because it's not illegal to sell. It's not illegal to sell deer bait. It's just illegal to hunt over it. I don't know. Dave, that's a good question. What percentage of people are reporting their deer kill? What percent of people reporting deer kill does the DNR expect? I don't know the answer to that one. I don't know the answer. Joe, I couldn't agree with you more. Common sense is not common anymore. Well, Jim, I hope so. Jim says big bucks will reappear in December. I hope so, because I will still be out there in December hunting with my Brenton 350 Legend, because the DNR will now allow me to do that. And I don't know. I can't hunt over bait. I don't have a problem with it. I've killed deer over bait. I've killed deer without bait. But I just can't take a chance. I'm not going to do it. Matt says, hey, hunted back in from deer hunting with his oldest no deer, but shot a coyote. Excellent. Oh, he pulled the shot on the coyote. Yeah, well, that won't be the last time that your son, Matt, gets a shot at a coyote. Randy Murray says, walleye fishing has been great. I wouldn't know, Randy, because as you know, my angler quest has been put to bed for months now. Chris says, come on out to Kansas. He's got a big doe at his place. You're more than welcome to come down and play. I do appreciate that. Chris. And your firearm season's coming up here December 1st, 2nd, 3rd. Some of the biggest deer I've ever seen have been in Kansas. The biggest deer on the wall in there, the 150-inch 10-point, is from Kansas. Ed says he can't believe they would allow his area to bait, even if they open the Lower Peninsula, 452, the TB area. Probably not. Mad Jack, his daughter just scored one this afternoon in Ogama County. Excellent. Davis had the most success on deer with his truck. All right, so listen. As you know, every week here on Wednesday Night Live, we give away a Michigan brand ham for the holidays. Now, the one we're going to give away tonight, you will not get in time for Thanksgiving, because Thanksgiving's tomorrow. Here at the Avery House, we will be having a turkey and a Michigan brand ham. In fact, I picked it up today and posted a picture of it if you want to know what it looks like. If you would like a Michigan brand ham, here's how this is going to work. And do not post your comments quite yet. Do not post it quite yet. Oh, Craig, big news. A TB infected deer was shot in Ogama County. Well, that's one reason that DMU 452, the TB zone, will never allow baiting. Yes. I'm sorry to hear that. Ross says he's ready. Okay, here's the way this works. Not yet, but when I give you the go-ahead, you post a comment on why you want to win a Michigan brand ham for the holidays. Make your comments clever. But here's the one thing I'm going to ask. Even if you plan to give this to a needy family, which is an honorable thing to do, please don't post that in the comments, because Ross Elliott, who is playing the role of Nick Grillo tonight, it makes it impossible for him to choose. So you've got 2 minutes starting right now. right now, make your comments on why you want to win a Michigan brand ham for the holidays. As Nick Grillo is at the Wings game tonight, Ross Elliott is playing the role of Nick, and he is standing by and he's monitoring your comments now. Let's see what you've got. You've got 2 minutes. Amy has a comment. I'd love to win a Michigan brand ham because a goofy mother-in-law is making roast beef for Thanksgiving, so you need a ham for Christmas. That's a pretty good one, Amy. Who else wants to win a Michigan brand ham? MichiganBrand.net, by the way, the website, MichiganBrand.net, MichiganBrand.net. James has got a comment. Susan's got a comment. Matt's got a comment. Everybody's got a comment on why they want to win a Michigan brand ham. Oh, here's what Johnny Bowler says. Mike, come back and shoot a buck. I just had 2 8 points and a 6 point come in today. Johnny, I love you, brother, but I've heard that before when it comes to Bears. Remember this? Remember that conversation, Johnny? Joe has a comment. Another Joe has a comment. Johnny Bowler has a comment. 1 minute, my friends. You notice I haven't looked at my watch, not even once. 1 minute on what your comments on why you want to win a Michigan brand ham. Lyle has a comment here. Chad has a comment. Michigan Brand Meats, MichiganBrand.net, MichiganBrand.net. Great family, great family, great company, Michigan-based. You know, I have the utmost respect for the Grillo family. 30 seconds on why you want to win a Michigan brand ham. 30 seconds. Make your comments. Ross Elliott is standing by. Ross is standing by. Yeah, they're standing right next to the. Yeah, good point, Ed. They're standing right next to Scott's Bear. 20 seconds. 20 seconds on why you want to win a Michigan brand ham for the holidays. You still got a little bit of time. Get your comments in. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Not a record, but not bad. I'm waiting for our official scorer to weigh in here. No, he's not the director of the DNR, Mike. He is he's a wildlife biologist for the DNR. Nice, you like it? Horn's getting weak. Baloney, the horn's getting weak. I challenge you to come on here and do one for 27 seconds, 27.13 seconds. Not a record, but pretty darn good for an old guy. All right, let's see who Ross Elliott picked for this week's Michigan brand ham for the holidays winner. We're standing by, anxiously awaiting. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. See, I see, couldn't do it. 27.13 seconds. All right. Oh, come on. Ross Elliott, and he prefaces this right now. Ross says his son gave him a random number, and that comment was Johnny Bowler, the Bear Whisperer. Johnny Bowler is the winner of this week's Michigan brand ham for the holidays. I agree with you, Craig. I think the whole thing is rigged. I don't trust Avery. I don't trust Ross Elliott. Actually, I do. It's completely honest. It's just cool that Johnny won it. Johnny Bowler, the Bear Whisperer, who promised me a Michigan black bear. He promised me the bait was at 70 yards. He promised me the bear would come in the first night during broad daylight. The bait was at 35 yards, and I sat there 6 days and never saw a bear. But Johnny's still one of my favorite people. Congrats, Johnny Bowler, for winning for winning this week's Michigan brand ham. I have your address, Johnny, so I will pass it along to Nick Grillo tomorrow morning, and he can get that Michigan brand ham out in time for you next week. It won't be in time for you for Thanksgiving tomorrow, But wonderful, wonderful. And I still gave it to him. Yes, I did. And we still gave him a Michigan brand ham. Hey, Ross Elliott, thank you, buddy. I look forward to seeing you at Dixie Dave's in 2 weeks. Shoot up to the UP to get one. I think so. Johnny, officially full of pork and beans. Ham it up. Everybody loves you, Johnny. Look at all your fans you have. Johnny, you should start your own radio show. I tell you what, since Johnny Bowler, since you are younger than me, when it comes time for me to retire, and this, I'm not talking right away, I'm talking years down the road. Since everybody loves you, Johnny, maybe you should take over the Outdoor Magazine radio show. What do you think, Johnny? Second career for you. Okay, Ross says he's going to be there. Here's what we're talking about. 2 weeks from tonight, December 7th. 2 weeks from tonight, we will be doing one last Wednesday Night Live blowout at Oscar and Joey's Roadhouse. Oscar and Joey's is in Birch Run, and it is the restaurant of wild game chef extraordinaire Dixie Dave Miner. I say we're doing one last one because Dixie Dave is retiring, and this is the last chance we will have to do a Wednesday Night Live there. I'd love you to be a part of it. Can he do one while plowing the roads? Brent, I'm glad to hear you're there. Tracy, we will think of you and you'll be there in spirit. Yeah, I knew there was, I knew it was, well, one last big Wednesday Night Live and Pearl Harbor Day. I mean, there's a lot in common, right? We're going to blow up the restaurant. Tim can't make it there on the 7th. We're going to have a good time. All right. So listen, I'd love to have you join us. Because I want to see you in person. I want you to celebrate Dixie Dave's retirement with me. And also, I'm working on that right now. We're going to give away some good prizes. I know Brad Dupuy of Angler Quest is going to be there. We're going to give away a 2023 Angler Quest 8526 Pro Troll. Nick Grillo of Michigan Brand is going to be there. We're going to give away some Michigan Brand meats. Bob Ransom is going to be there, giving away some Primal Tree Stands products. The Brenton USA firearm people are going to be there. So we got a lot of good things to give away. Nobody said anything about the, no, Johnny, I can't hold out for 9.5 years. Nobody said anything about the giveaway on the Angler Quest. Nobody picked up on that. Hey, Judy, how are you? Oh, Craig. Tim says, oh, wait, I might be there for the Angler Quest. A DU dinner in Clarkston that night. Craig, it won't be the same without you there, buddy. So if you want to join us, you have to call for reservations, 989-624-9349, 989-624-9349. I don't think there's anybody there right now. If you call now, you'll get the answering machine. Please give him your name, your number, how many people will be attending, and that way when they call back, they can confirm your reservation. It does not cost anything to join us. There is no choice. There is no, charge. Tickets are not required, but we expect you to buy a meal from Dixie Dave. That's going to be the cost of your meal. Well, it's going to be more than 2 years, Johnny. So somewhere between that 9.5 and 2 years. I think that'd be kind of cool. Johnny Bowler's Outdoor Magazine. The outdoor world, according to Johnny Bowler. 989-624-9349 for reservations. 989-624-9349 for reservations for one final Wednesday Night Live at Oscar and Joey's. Yeah, my 8526 is there, John. I drove by there the other night. It's sitting out there in the snow. Davina, it is at Oscar and Joey's Roadhouse in Birch Run, Michigan, just off I-75 at the Birch Run exit. It's just east of there, about a quarter of a mile. The Wednesday Night Live will start at 7 o'clock. I would encourage you to make your reservations about 6:15 or so, even 6 o'clock. 2 weeks from tonight, Johnny, the 7th, Wednesday night, December 7th, a day that'll go down in infamy because it's the last Wednesday Night Live at Oscar and Joey's. And I don't mean to make fun of the real significance of December 7th, but that's the date we could pick. 989-624-9349 for reservations. Okay, a couple of other things I want to talk about. And congrats, Johnny, on winning a Michigan brand ham. You should go play the lotto, buddy. Okay, I talked about the plethora of postseason traditional gun hunts. I'll get back to that. I'm glad you bring this up, Rick. Says, what do you have to do to send me a pic? Well, this has become a little bit more of an ordeal lately because Facebook has changed things once again. It used to be that you, as a follower of this Facebook page or of the Facebook page, could just post a picture and then I could click on it and share it. Boom, boom, it was done. Well, you can't do that anymore. So the way we have to do it these days, Rick, is send me a picture either through private messenger on Facebook, and I can share that with a few behind the scenes strokes of magic. The quality won't be the best, but people will see you. If you want a better quality image posted, send me an email to mike@mikeaveryoutdoors.com, mike@mikeaveryoutdoors.com, and we can do it that way. We can do it that way. And I want to see your pictures. Love to see your pictures. Okay, what else? A couple of things. I posted a picture here on the Facebook page. I say here on the Facebook. I know we have viewers on YouTube and Twitter and LinkedIn as well. I posted a picture on the Facebook page of Josh Mapes. No, Scott, they are not going to reopen. Well, they are going to reopen, but it's not going to be reopened as a restaurant. Interesting comment, Tim Binns. So I posted a picture from Josh Mapes of Overdrive Outdoors, and he's sitting over a big doe. And I don't know if somebody was making a joke or not, but I took it seriously. How can you take pride in shooting a doe? Why don't you go shoot something that takes some skill? Well, I will say right now that I think a big old matriarchal doe is one of the biggest trophies in the woods. She's seen a lot of deer seasons. She's seen a lot of hunters. She's smart, and she doesn't want to get shot, as opposed to a dumb year and a half old buck. I appreciate it. Dave says, I really enjoyed the old TV5 outdoor magazine with Mike Avery. Just saying, because if you're retiring, I wanted to let you know. I'm not retiring, Dave. It's going to be many years. Well, eventually I'm retiring, but it's going to be a long, long time. It's going to be many, many years before I retire. But Dixie Dave is retiring. That's why we're having one big last Wednesday night blowout at Oscar and Joey's. So anyway, you don't have to worry about anybody shaming you if you post pictures on my social media outlets. Whether it's a small buck, a doe, I don't care. If you were proud enough to shoot it, I'm going to share it. And nobody is going to be allowed to say anything negative about it. The other comments I found interesting, Zach Romanak, who is the son of Mark Romanak of Fishing 411 TV. 10 years ago, Zach Romanak shot, hey, Mike, how you doing? If you want tires, go see Mike at Mike's Tire Sales in Caucalan. Zach Romanak shot a buck on the TV show or for the TV show. And then the other day, what he did was he shot another buck and he sent me the picture and he said, if you want to post it, go ahead. And I did. And I posted the picture and it was pretty cool. One of the cool things about the picture is he's sitting there with his rifle over the deer and he's got a suppressor on his rifle. Oh my God. He's got a suppressor on his rifle. And some people are like, why do you need a silencer to kill a deer? Who knows what Dave is doing? And I don't think Dave knows what he's doing. I tell you, one thing he is doing is he's doing the Trinity Monitor Wild Game Dinner Saturday, March 4th or 5th, whatever that date is, at the Great Hall in Midland. He is doing that. I have a suppressor on order. That's right. We're giving away an Angler Quest. A 2023 8526 Angler Quest. All you have to do is convince Brad Dupuis, Mr. Angler Quest himself, to go along with it. And I don't think that's going to happen. That was to see how many people are listening closely, Lost Glove Farms. It was a cool pick, wasn't it, Brent? Very cool. So the whole suppressor thing, I have a suppressor on order from my Brenton USA Hunting Rifles 350 Legend because my ears are bad enough and I just don't want to do any more damage. In fact, when one of the blinds I'm sitting in right now is a big old, very cool box blind that's big enough that I can hide in the back of it. Well, the problem is if I'm sitting in the back of that thing and I touch off that 350 Legend, even though it's not a big caliber, if I'm inside a hard-sided blind, I'm going to be deaf for 2 days and it's going to screw up my hearing for the rest of my life. And I don't want to do that. So my other option, and I did this the other day, I put in those foam earplugs. I put them in my ears, which I don't really want to do when I'm hunting, but I did. The other option is to slide my chair up to the window and get the muzzle out of the window, or muzzle out the window. But the problem is I'm hunting two little food plots in front of me, one to the front in front of me and one to the left. And if a big old doe walks in there at 30 yards, one of these big old does I was talking about that have seen a lot of deer seasons, and she knows that in the past deer have been shot at out of that blind, she comes in and she looks there and she stares at it and she makes sure there's nobody in there. So about the time I try to slide out to get my muzzle out the window so I don't blow my ears out, she's either going to hear me or she's going to see the movement. The weight is for a good point, Tim. Is the weight for the suppressor or the tax stamp? I'm getting a Brenton suppressor, so I think I'm waiting for both. I think the prototype Brenton suppressors are out, so I'm actually waiting for both. John said he hunted coyotes with some friends, and one guy had a can suppressor, and the other didn't. I shot the coyote, and all you hear is the brass casing discharge. Then the other guy fired, and my ear started ringing. And that's why I want a suppressor on my 350 Legend. It's not a silencer. It's not like the movies. It doesn't make it go psst. It'll make some noise, but it cuts down on the sound pressure level, the dB, considerably. Mike said he used his GSL can on his 6.5 Creedmoor and won't shoot any other way. No ears, usually so much more comfortable. Also, get a second. Well, he said it. I think he means a second shot. He said something else. You can see it right there. Any idea how much the can is? No, I don't, because I said I want one. Order me one, and we'll worry about the price of it later. I got to be honest with you. Okay. If you were with us earlier, you'll know that we had to do a take 2 because we had a technical problem. Oh, nobody's asked me who's on the show this week. So I'm going to take this opportunity to tell you. On this weekend's Outdoor Magazine radio show, what's in here right now? Crystal Light. What's in here in 10 minutes? You can guess. Yeah, shot. Yeah, I knew what you meant, Mike. I knew what you meant. Well, I started out the show this week with Glenn Duncan of Duncan's Outdoor Shop in Bay City. Glenn is a master gunsmith. And thank you, Davina. Thank you, Davina, for asking me who's on the show this week. I originally thought I was going to have Glenn on there. Well, here's something interesting. David said, I don't care about the sound. Give me something that keeps my scope from kissing me. All right, folks, Mike, people who have a suppressor, does it affect recoil? Does it help reduce recoil? I don't know the answer to that. I didn't think it did. Probably, John, but I don't know the answer to that yet because I don't have one yet. I'm going to say probably. I know when I see the Brenton guys carry them, they carry them separately, and I don't know if they're trying to protect that can or what, that suppressor or what. Okay, Glenn Duncan joins me on the show this week. I originally wanted to have him on there to talk about putting your rifle away, your deer gun away after the season. Recoil is reduced, Craig says. Recoil is reduced. So it's a win-win. Reduced recoil, reduced sound pressure level. It's a win-win all the way around. Like I said, I had Glenn on to talk about putting your deer rifle away. And then I realized you don't need to put your rifle away. If you live in certain parts of the state, you can continue to hunt with that center fire rifle right on through a muzzleloading season. So it's no longer a muzzleloading season. It's no longer a black powder season. It's no longer a primitive season. The fact that you can now use your 450 or your 350 or several other calibers during the muzzleloader season is probably the death knell to muzzleloaders here in Michigan. Why would you want to shoot a muzzleloader unless you are a traditionalist and you want to shoot black powder because you love the smell of black powder? And why did they do that? They do that because they wanted to shoot more deer. If they really want us to shoot more deer, drop the baiting ban in the Lower Peninsula or the bait ban. Can you use your rifle in the muzzleloader season in the rifle area? Can you use your rifle in the muzzleloader season in the rifle area? All right, let me do a check here. That's a good question. Let me look for a text that here we go. Okay. Can a 350 or 450 be used during the muzzleloader season, or is that still black powder only? Also, the late antlerless season that runs from December 12th to January 1st, can I shoot a doe? I'm asking for me. Can I shoot a doe on private land with a centerfire rifle during that time period? Here's the answer. For muzzleloader season, you can hunt with a shotgun, a bow, a crossbow, a muzzleloader, a limited firearm like the 450 Bushmaster or the 350 Legend, 44 Magnum, 357 Magnum, among others, or a pistol shooting a straight wall cartridge of 35 caliber or higher. Does that answer the question? To me, it does. Johnny says, one of these years, I'll have you up here deer hunting. How about next year, Johnny? Since I can't bear hunt with you next year, how about I come up next year and deer hunt with you? How's that sound? Sounds like straight walled only, but yes, centerfire rifle. Okay. In fact, what I'm going to do, I'm going to make myself a note, and we're going to talk in depth about this next week. Muzzleloader season. On next week's show, we're going to talk in depth about this. Okay. Then Tom Campbell of Woods and Water News wraps up the end of the first hour. I read that is Lower Peninsula. Why is it? See, it's going to lock up on me again. No, I'm good. So, David, I have to follow up on this next week because all I know is what I was told. I'm going to lock up here again. If I lock up again, I'm going to call it a night, okay? If I lock up again, it's 7:45 anyway. Then in our second hour, Joe Marion talks about cold water safety, both when you're on the ice and late season open water fishing. Angela Kujawa of the DNR talks about the late season Michigan elk hunt. In our third hour, we're talking about fishing, late season fishing, and whitetail hunting with Mark Martin. You know Mark Martin as a walleye fisherman, but he also talks about deer hunting and walleye fishing being the same in that whitetails and walleye are creatures of seams, of junctions, of borders, of transitions. And of course, we wrap it all up with wild game chef extraordinaire Dixie Dave Miner. All I want to know from you, Johnny, is you're not going to put me somewhere where there's another hunter. Not the UP. Right, Johnny, this is not the UP. I'm talking the Lower Peninsula only. Johnny Bowler needs a website called bearwhisperer.com, but he doesn't have one, Davina. Okay. So again, I'm going to follow up more on this late season rifle hunting, when and where it's allowed, and then also into the late doe season. because it sounds to me like during the muzzleloader season, you can only use the 350 or the 450 or an equivalent cartridge. But during the late doe season, you can go back to a full-blown centerfire rifle. That's the way I read it. But again, we need to, we need to do some more investigation. Brian says Zone 3, all legal firearms. Is that for muzzleloader or for the late doe season, Brian? It's confusing, isn't it? That's why next week we'll have somebody on to follow up. All right, my friends, I appreciate you joining me on this edition of Wednesday Night Live. Again, congratulations to Johnny Bowler, the Bear Whisperer, for winning this week's Michigan Brand Hams. Thank you to Nick Grillo and the Grillo family of Michigan Brand Beats, michiganbrand.net, michiganbrand.net. Brian says page 50 of the rule book. And isn't it crazy that we have to go to page 50 of a rule book? Why do we have a rule book that's 50 pages long in the first place? Page 50 of the rule book. Think about that for a minute. Thank you, Brian. Page 50 of the rule book we have to go to figure this one out. We're going to follow up on the show next week. My email address, mike@mikeaveryoutdoors.com. My website, mikeaveryoutdoors.com. Let me just take a second here to thank each and every one of you for joining me. And I want to wish you and your friends and your family a very, very blessed and a very, very enjoyable Thanksgiving. Even if you got some bad things going on in your life, I bet you can find a lot to be thankful for. Here at the Avery family, we are blessed. We have a multitude of things to be thankful for, and we will remember that tomorrow. All right, my friends, have a great Thanksgiving, and I'll talk to you again next week right here on Wednesday Night Live. I didn't start the music this time, but that's okay. I had enough technical difficulties. Will not take another